Today we are into one of the plantation. Now, by looking at this plantation, it becomes very difficult to say exactly what kind of plants are there. So this is actually a pomegranate plantation which is completely destroyed because of one disease, which is a bacterial disease called as bacterial blight. This bacterial blight, in layman language, is also called as thalia. As it's a bacterial disease, there is a bacterial strain called as Xanthomonas. Its genera is Xanthomonas, while the species is the PVC. Now, because of this Xanthomonas, there are different types of other fruit, they can say plantations which are infected. Like citrus is one of them, where the canker is developed because of the Xanthomonas. While in the pomegranate, very specifically, thalia or bacterial blight is identified. Now, bacterial blight is a contagious disease. So, this occurs largely because of the contamination. When one of the branch or one of the fruit or one of the leaf is infected, then that infection spreads to the other parts of the plant and naturally to the other plants into the plantation. Right now, the question comes how at early stage to identify whether a particular plantation is infected by the bacterial blight or thalia or not. For that, the farmer need to look at three important aspects. Number one, leaves. Number two, branches. And number three, fruit. Right. Now, on leaves, if there are yellow spots which are formed because of the water soaking, if the water soaked plants are there where the dark blackish brown lesions are developed, this is one of the indicator of the Xanthomonas spread into the plantation. Now, as I touched it, now my hands are also infected. So, if I goes to a healthy plantation where I can transmit it, because this is a contamination, right? So, the contamination can spread to the other because of its contagious nature, right? That needs to be avoided. Second, as far as the branches are concerned, here on the branches, very specifically on the branches, the canker are developed. Now, the cankers, they are normally developed on the fruits of different other plantations. But here in case of pomegranate, the cankers are developed largely on the branches. Now, on these branches, when the oily lesions are developed, now here I'll show you some of the oily lesions. Now here, these are some of the dead branches. But if we look at these dead branches, here the oily lesions are easily identified on these branches. This is highly infected plantation and which is completely destroyed because of it. Third is the fruit. Now, as far as the fruit is concerned, first, because of the infection of the bacterial blight, the fruit turns into a irregular shaped fruit. So the distortion of the shape of the fruit is there, because of which the upper ridges, they are cracked, and these cracks ultimately results into the destruction of the fruit. Now here such type of holes are developed because of the thalia. Now, this is a dried fruit because here this plantation is completely destroyed, but in the healthy plantation also, here you will find that farmer need to look at these three most important symptoms. One, which is identified on the leaves, another which is identified on the branches,